Let's see what Bongino's upset about. He's very upset. He's very upset, but the music. He's upset that they're not getting more coverage of Hunter Biden, y'all. Cause it did.
We told you about a mob of vandals targeting
terrible.
the police department in Portland. The police
Yeah, you guys really care about Portland. Finally.
Association burning debris and leaving anti-cop graffiti outside their HQ Saturday night.
This as
overworked, overwhelmed, and burned out. Why Portland cops say they're leaving in droves.
more than 30.
Well, if they're leaving in droves, why would they have to say they're leaving in droves? Okay.
Portland cops and supervisors open up about why they're leaving the state's largest police force in droves. One retiring detective telling the Oregonian the community shows zero support. The mayor and council ignore actual facts on crime and policing in favor of radical leftist and anarchist fantasy.
That's the reason to leave. That cop, one of more than 100 who have reportedly left the bureau since July in one of the biggest waves of departures in recent memory. Here to react, former...
Yeah, talk about why is this, by the way, this clip is Bongino lashes out at media over coverage of Hunter Biden.
NYPD officer, Fox News contributor, Secret Service agent Dan Bongino. Dan.
Bongino.
None of this should surprise you, correct?
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't surprise you, but all these folks are surprised. You know, I mean, you'd feel surprised if you woke up with Brian Kilmeade's face every day.
No, listen, folks, this is only a mystery to liberals who I don't know if their skulls are extra thick, if they're lined with vibranium or lead.
Yeah, that's comparable. Thick-headedness, that's the problem. But thanks for giving us the benefit of the doubt in a headbutting contest.
But how was this a shocker to anyone? So let me get this straight. Let's coddle the criminals and let's treat the cops like crap, and then let's wonder why the cops are leaving. Do you ever, I mean, to the listeners out there, do you ever wake up in the morning, if you're sane, and say, how do liberals wake up in the morning and look in the mirror confused by this? Oh my gosh, we treated our cops terribly, and
it's Portland, asshole. Why don't you talk about guns? What's it like when you wake up after a mass shooting, another mass shooting? You guys are gonna, but like, Portland's fucked up, but it's not indicative of the nature of liberal governance, and it's certainly not in line with Biden and his administration. It's got its problems. It's full of lunatics. The city is. It's had this problem for fucking ever. It's the nature of that city in a lot of ways. It's weird hippie, like libertarians and a mix of like anarchists and sovereign citizens, and it's just, and they got enough woods to run into where they can hide. It's a bunch of, like, most of them are suburban white kids LARPing as badasses. But it's not indicative of anything else. But how do you wake up every morning when there's been another mass shooting where a 4-year-old or a 9-year-old was killed, and we're like, a background check would have stopped that guy. And you're like, yeah, well,
coddling the criminals.
It's please tell me about one city
who are allowed to run wild in the middle of Portland, and all of a sudden the cops don't want to work here. What a shocker! How did that happen? But that's liberalism for you. It's a far.
It is. Is that liberalism? Is that
forest fire?
Meanwhile, before the election.
Well, the attacks are anarchists largely and sovereign citizens. So.
Fox News, New York Post talked about the Hunter Biden story, the laptop and everything else. It was pretty much avoided by the mainstream media until this weekend when CBS did an interview with Hunter. And the good news, Dan.
He has a book coming out.
Listen to this. Hunter didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I can say this, is I'm cooperating completely. And I am absolutely certain, 100% certain, that at the end of the investigation, that I will be cleared of any wrongdoing. And all I can do is cooperate and trust in the process. I don't think I made a mistake in taking the spot on the board. I think I made a mistake in terms of underestimating the way in which it would be used against me.
Used against?
Yeah. Okay.
against him. So Burisma, not a mistake, didn't make mistakes with his taxes. And he says that laptop at the Fix-It shop in Delaware certainly could have been his.
If they stole one.
Yeah, okay, a couple points on this. Number one, this is a grown man. It's not a child. So can we please stop, not you guys, but can we please stop?
Well, I mean, for one moment, Bongino Kilmeade felt seen.
In other media outlets, referring this as to Joe Biden's kid. This is a grown man, okay? Secondly,
Who is calling him Joe Biden's kid? You're the guys who are trying to tag Biden with his son's activity, both business and personally. While he's like, he literally, there's a story in the book that's coming out where his dad left his Secret Service protection to go see his son and have an intervention. And he was like, I'm fine. And Biden, his dad was like, you're not fine.
What kind of a father puts this guy, their son, in charge of these international deals with enemies?
He doesn't. He didn't put him in charge of those deals. He just tells you he's a grown man and he's not the guy's kid. And then he goes off on this, why would you put your son in this situation as a minor?
Enemies of the United States knowing he has a drug problem. Can someone answer me that question?
Well, he didn't. Hunter Biden took certain jobs. He didn't stop him because he's an adult.
Tell me how Lunch Bucket Joe's such a great guy again.
Lunch Bucket Joe.
And third, we're not sure it's the laptop. Hey, look at this. You know what this is? It's on my notes for today's show. Here's the Hunter Biden receipt for the laptop. Here's Hunter Biden's signature for the laptop. Here's where it's billed to Hunter Biden. The laptop for the receipt that had...
Oh my God, someone has a photocopy of something.
Pictures of Hunter Biden with Hunter Biden's confirmed emails, where Hunter Biden dropped...
Yeah, the Russians never had access to those when they broke into the Burisma computers last year.
The laptop off. Is anyone going to ask these questions? Here it is, guys. The receipt. That's the receipt right there. I even printed one for myself.
Well, of course you did. You're a weak-willed man. You're on the losing side of a circumstance right now. You're scrambling for every scrap you have.
Everyone can do it. This media person could have asked that question.
Well, they did ask him about the laptop.
So it's Hunter Biden's laptop, signed by Hunter Biden, billed to Hunter Biden, with pictures of Hunter Biden, with Hunter Biden's emails. But gosh, whose computer could that possibly be?
What happens next,
Definitely
Dan?
not Hunter Biden's.
Dan, what happens next? Does this investigation...
Dan, here's a good idea. Give me your laptop for a week. I'll just take it to a room where I just have internet access. And when I give it back to you, everything that is on it is yours. See how that works? Hey man, it's got your email addresses on it. You own the thing. I have a receipt that you dropped it off and picked it up. Anything that's on there is yours.
Investigation just die because the FBI had the laptop years ago, and we haven't...
And they went, yeah, it's a fake. Like, part of it's real, but the rest of it's fake.
heard much about it.
Because they looked at it and they did a forensic report on it, and they were like, it's bullshit.
Listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gave up on the Justice Department a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
Show me evidence.
How do you give up on the Justice Department?
Otherwise, if this was Donald Trump Jr.'s laptop with pictures of Donald Trump Jr. signed by Donald Trump Jr. and billed to Donald Trump Jr.,
Bill Barr would have ran in interference for it, and it probably would have had worse shit on it.
He'd be in a federal prison right now for 25 years
for what?
Selling the country out to China.
Selling the country out to China. Because he was partnered with a company that got a deal with China 4 years before he became a partner?
But because it's Hunter, you do interviews and sell a book on it. And you want me to have faith in the justice system? The justice system is blind to Democrats.
Ouch. It's terrible.
Republicans, their eyes are wide open. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting that the justice system is like, holy shit, what the fuck are they up to?
The audacity to do a book tour while his dad's president.
Yeah, all the receipts about that they're finding out Gates aren't being talked about. Yeah, it's interesting that he printed out a laptop receipt for Hunter Biden, but they're not talking about the Cash App and Apple Pay receipts that the New York Times reviewed.
And he caused so much controversy, and now
Oh my
he's
gosh.
chronicling it.
It's so
And that was just his first interview. His interview,
I was working
his
out
comeback.
this morning.
I know.
I was in my garage this morning, Brian, and I
Yeah, we know.
heard you say another great point. It was either
He watches this show in his garage.
you or Steve. You said, and then the brother, Joe Biden's brother's out there too.
In Florida.
Filming video. It's amazing.
Right.
These guys have no shame at all. They're all wonderful. Lunch Bucket Joe, he's one of us. He ain't one of me. He may
He is not one of you. There's only one of you, Bongino.
be one of you if you're a Democrat. He ain't one of me. What kind of guy sends his kid out there to do this?
That's the Rudy Giuliani line, by the way, and I don't know what the hell that means.
Think about that.
The same guy that just said it was Jim Crow on steroids with the Georgia law, a flat-out lie. We have to re-examine what's going on here. Dan, thanks.
Yeah, look at it again. Maybe take another look. It's important to look at it and think about it. Thanks, guys, for breaking it down. And I'm glad you didn't let the other two talk too much.
So much. Look forward to your
Thank
show
you, Dan.
today.
Yeah, it's going to be so good.